So 2022 was a pretty tricky year for me because it finished with just a whole bunch of uncertainty, and it also started with uncertainty because I just didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. I had lots of questions I was asking, found out at the start of the year that I was going to be a dad, and I was just like, okay, what do I want to do just for a job, for a career? And so I spent the whole year pondering that. I went from thinking maybe I want to be a policeman, maybe I want to be a teacher, maybe I want to be a youth pastor. I had all these different ideas, and the one I completely didn't expect to work out was being a Minecraft YouTuber, because I started a YouTube channel in the middle of the year just for fun, and now it's my job, and that's just insane. But we finished off 2022 feeling very anxious, very uncertain, because by the end of the year I had lost 2 jobs of mine, which if you've ever lost a job before, you'll know that it makes you feel like a failure. It makes you feel like a loser. Well, at least that's how it made me feel. And I finished the year feeling like that. I was feeling pretty burnt out because of it, and I was just kind of feeling pretty depressed, really, and came into a new year, 2023, hoping for the best. It was a new year where I moved into a new house. I started working. I was working a pretty new job, and I was also a new dad. I also started a film school course, so that was new as well. I also moved to a different church. Everything was just completely new for me. I had a whole fresh new year ahead of me. And at the start of that year, I was actually starting, because of my burnout, I was also starting to kind of feel sick of making Minecraft content. I was kind of really tired of the series that I was running because I was the only one playing on the server at that point, and I was running out of ideas as to what kind of content I could make. And so I was just feeling kind of sick of Minecraft content, and I kept facing problems, just technical difficulties, which were really discouraging. I was feeling kind of tired of Minecraft content and feeling like giving up, but I thought I'd give one last thing a try. I really wanted to give hardcore an attempt, and so I also happened to buy a new PC because I was pretty optimistic about still trying to make it work despite how depressed I was feeling. I got a new PC, and it was a really decent PC, way better than the one that I had. I could play with full render distance as opposed to 10 chunks, 8 chunks, 7 chunks of render distance. And I started my hardcore series, and the first episode got over 1,000 views, and I was amazed. In fact, I hadn't ever really gotten any let's play video over 1,000 views. I'd only ever gotten shorts and tutorials with that many views, and also Hermitcraft clips with that many views. So it was a pretty big deal, and I was feeling really great about it. But then something horrible happened. I died to the Ender Dragon in my hardcore world. Oh, flip. No! Everything was looking promising, and then bam, I just died of fall damage, just like that. And I was devastated. I was so tempted to cheat. I was so tempted to lie. I was so tempted to just betray the trust of my audience, but I never want to be that kind of YouTuber. So I just had to make a bad short video of me just dying to the Ender Dragon and it being a really anticlimactic end to the series. So then I started a new hardcore world, and man, I did not realize it at the time, but it was actually way better. I approached the second episode differently, where I just collected the armor trims in a different order that I had originally planned in my second episode of my other hardcore series. And so it worked out really well. And that video has now got over 1 million views, which is just insane. I can't believe over 1 million people have watched me play Minecraft. That's crazy stuff. Not long after that, I made my 100 days in a 1.20 video, and that has also got over 1 million views. And that's the video that really sent my channel skyrocketing. And I was just it was amazing timing, because me and my wife, we were saying, okay, so June is when we're gonna start to struggle financially, because we had government support for having a child, and that government support was about to run out at the end of May. It's okay, June is when it's gonna get tough. But it happens to be that June was when my channel blew up, and so it's God just like kept us covered. It was like, it's all right. Here's some money from YouTube. And that just really encouraged me and lifted my spirits, not because of the money, but also because I started to have more people in my life that had faith in me, where it felt like at the end of 2022, the way I felt at the end of 2022 was like I was a failure. That's what losing a couple jobs tends to make you feel. At least that's what it was like for me. Not only was it money that God provided for us, but it was also just confidence. Losing 2 jobs made me feel like a failure. It made me feel useless. It made me feel like I couldn't achieve anything and I wasn't good at anything. But then I had all these people watching my videos, telling me that my videos were amazing, telling me that I was talented, telling me that I was underrated, telling me that I had true potential. And that just completely changed the way I felt for the rest of the year. It was amazing. And so with that confidence and excitement that I had from discovering an audience that really liked my content, I decided to take a risk. I did something that I thought would be too foolish, and I made a really silly song for one of my videos. And you probably know what I'm talking about if you know me already. That song was Mossy Moss. I was home alone one day and I had a migraine in my brain and I was in extreme pain, and I was about to record a Moss montage and I found the track that Mossy Moss is sung along to, and I just pressed record and started singing whatever came to my mind. And that's how Mossy Moss was born. And when I finished recording it and my wife got home, I was like, I recorded this, it's too ridiculous, I'm not gonna upload it. And then my wife listened to it and she said, nah, this is amazing, you gotta keep it in the video. So I was like, okay, all right then, I will, I guess. And I did, and everyone loved it. Everyone was crazy about it. Like it was so cool that I could just be my crazy self in front of a camera and have a whole bunch of people like tell me that whatever the heck I made there was amazing. There were people that were confused and concerned for my mental health, but it was also just like so good that I could be myself in front of a camera, like really be myself, like forget about trying to be cool, just being my weird, crazy, silly self, and having people respond so positively to it was just game-changing for me. And it was game-changing for my channel. Because the thing about being a YouTuber is if you try and be someone that you're not, there's only so far you can go with that. Like, if you pretend to be someone you're not, then there's just like, you're only gonna be as cool as that fake person that you're trying to be. When really the best thing you can do for your channel is to just be who you are and be yourself. I learned how to do that, like through Mossy Moss and through the hardcore series. I really learned how to just come out of my shell, and it was a really good thing for my channel because everyone just embraced it. Everyone just thought it was epic. And I guess like that's a part of being an adult is I know myself a lot better than I did when I was a teenager. And so if I was doing this YouTube channel as a teenager, my presentation would have been a lot more awkward. Like me trying to do Mossy Moss as a teenager, I would have done it very awkwardly and kind of like felt embarrassed to do it. Whereas as an adult, I went all in and I didn't care, and it proved to be some amazing results. With that being a great result, and I was just on a real high of just like feeling confident that I could make anything, any stupid thing in Minecraft, any stupid thing in a video and people would love it. I came up with the most ridiculous idea that I'd ever had for a Minecraft build, and that was a sniffer airplane. It was so absurd, I had to do it. And that also proved to have great results. It got hundreds of thousands of views. Even Mojang reached out to me and said, hey, we love this video. Can we please make a video on our channel about it? And I was like, heck yeah. I thought they were a scam at first, but they weren't in the end. So that was pretty insane that I got to make a video on the Minecraft channel. However, not long later, disaster struck. And I mean like, something really bad happened that like totally killed a lot of my motivation, made me face a lot of grief, and cost me a lot of money. Where basically one day I got out of bed, I had my breakfast, I had a shower and did my morning routine. I brushed my teeth and then I came down into my office and I sat at my desk and I put my feet on the ground where there was a pool of water and wait, a pool of water? Yeah, so my studio flooded because it was all my fault because I'd installed a washing machine in the laundry, which is next door to my studio. I installed a washing machine wrong. I did a bad job of installing it, and so it flooded. The only room in the house that it flooded was my studio, because, I don't know, the water just moved that way. Like, it was pretty surreal that that was the only room that, like, of all the rooms it could have affected, it was mine. And that meant spending a whole day moving everything out of the studio and into the lounge room, and then getting a carpet cleaner to come and clean it up on the day, because if we let it stay in a flood for too long, then everything would get moldy and we'd have to spend a fortune repairing like the insides of the walls and a whole new carpet and everything. So we had to get a carpet cleaner on the day. And this is where it gets even worse. The carpet cleaner knew for a fact that he had a bit of a monopoly on me, where I had to get that stuff cleaned. I had to get this sorted. I had no choice, and he was the only one who could save the day. So he charged me $1,200 for a job that should have been $300, because I called another carpet cleaning company the day after and said, hey, he spent like a few hours cleaning up all this mess and this is all the details of the job, and how much would have you done it for? And they said, oh yeah, we would have done that for like $300. And I'm like, what the frick? So I was absolutely scammed. He took advantage of me, a young dad. That's like 3 months of food that he charged me that I need for my baby. And it was just so devastating. And that was the week that I recorded my video with Dorothy the camel, and that video did really well. But after that, my views started to drop. Like, people weren't really interested in watching my content anymore, and I wasn't sure if it was because people were losing interest in Minecraft, or if they were like getting bored of me as a person, if they were just like getting sick of me. Maybe I was starting to get a bit annoying and getting on people's nerves with my crazy personality. And so it was really just like doing a lot of stuff in my mind where I was really not sure what the heck was going on. And so I felt really sad. I just tried to ignore it. I just tried to keep making really good content, and I made the giant bamboo camel, and that video did really well as well. It was really fun. But then after that, things just like kept going down and down. And because I was feeling discouraged, I was like, oh, well, I'll try and make some smaller scale videos, because I'm finding it really difficult to make the big, like the giant camel and the giant sniffer and getting all of the armor trims on netherite armor. I was getting pretty tired of all the massive projects. And so because I did smaller scale videos, they weren't as interesting to people who didn't already know me and enjoy my content. So it was like, oh wow, you restored a trail ruin. I've already seen everyone do that. It's kind of boring. And so things didn't really go super well from there. Things were really dropping down, and so I was feeling pretty sad about it too. And so I realized I was kind of getting a bit stale. I was starting to kind of get sick of my hardcore world. I even considered like just dying in hardcore so I could start again, but I didn't want to give up like that. So I decided to take a little break from the hardcore world. I streamed a different world for a few weeks, and I also made a few non-hardcore related videos, and one of them did pretty good. The other one was a complete flop, even though I spent an entire month making it. But by the end of making that, I was ready to make hardcore content again. Now, before I keep talking about my channel, I will tell you, at this point, I dropped out of film school because I decided that I was going to get more out of doing YouTube than getting a certificate that tells me I can make films. Because YouTube is very different to making, like, movies and stuff. But I won't talk about that much right now. I dropped out of film school, and I also reduced my hours at my part-time job to 1 day per week, because I was pretty confident that I could make YouTube my full-time job at that point. It was risky, but I needed the time to make it work. So after I'd made those couple of videos and took a break from my hardcore world, I was inspired to make it to 1,000 days in my hardcore world. I thought, surely I can make one of those full movies. I've seen them succeed before. Surely I can make it to 1000 days and make an epic hardcore movie out of it. And so once I finally made it to 1000 days in hardcore, I released the movie and it performed really badly to start with. But then after about a week, it started to pick up, and then it started to really pick up, and then it started to really pick up, and now it's at over 1 million views. And that just about saved me, because it just really got me pumped to keep making content. Even if it means all of my videos perform just like really low views, I was pumped to keep going, because at least I know that every time I make a big Minecraft movie, I can count on it actually working and providing enough money for me to survive and feed my family. Not long after that, I came to the conclusion of what I wanted my channel to be, because I was trying to figure out this whole time, what is my Minecraft channel? What makes it different to other Minecraft channels? How do I make it unique? And this is what I came up with. I figured what I should do is I should be my silly self and build really silly things like sniffer aeroplanes, and then also like a giant jeb, and turning the entire end into wheat, and basically just fully committing to the stupidest ideas I could come up with. And that's what I want my channel to be. It took me over a year to figure out what I want my channel to be, and that is it. My life ambition, like my dream, is to be a storyteller, and Minecraft has made that very, very much possible. Like, the cool thing about Minecraft is that you are just able to be super creative in this game. Minecraft isn't about finishing a story, it's about making your own story. And your story can be as long or as short as you want it to be, and that's what I love about this game. I'm encouraged to just be creative, I'm encouraged to create stories, I'm encouraged to make cool things, and the awesome thing about YouTube is that I get to share it with a whole lot of people and make that my job, which is just amazing. I want to spend a lifetime making people laugh and telling stories that will touch people's hearts and make them cry. I want to spend a life inspiring people to do epic things, and also I just want to make videos and stories that make people feel relaxed and chill as well. This has always been my life ambition, to be a storyteller. I always wanted to have an audience to share my creativity with, but I guess I didn't think that it was a realistic dream job to have, because I guess everyone else in my life told me I should be a teacher or a doctor or I don't know, a blacksmith, or, well, these aren't literal things that people told me to do, but these are all realistic jobs that everyone else is doing. But I'm not like everyone else. I'm different. I'm weird. I do crazy stuff. I'm a very unusual person, and so that's how I ended up making YouTube my job. Because YouTube is an unusual job, and I'm very thankful for it, because it definitely fits me. Because the cool thing about being a YouTuber is that I guess you're your own boss, and you can make your job whatever fits you well, and I've found that. I've found a job that really fits me. The jobs I've tried in the past, maybe I've done an okay job at them, maybe I haven't, but they didn't really fit my personality all that much. So at the end of the year, I finished working my part-time job as a teacher's assistant in a high school, and I went full-time into YouTube. And that was just such an awesome change, because it meant that I could spend every day of the week working on epic videos so that epic people could have an epic time watching them. Here are 3 things that I learnt this year. First is to just be myself and not try and be someone else. The second thing I learned is working hard is always worth it, even if you don't necessarily get the results that you are aiming for. The third thing I've learned this year is to just trust God even when life is tough. 2023 has definitely been one of, if not the best years of my life. Like, my mental health has just gotten back on its feet this year. Like, the last few years, I've found things really difficult. I've found myself really anxious. I've found myself to be, like, depressed at times. I've found myself to just not enjoy life. But this year, I have really enjoyed life. And lots of that is a huge thanks to you guys, and I definitely thank God for all of it, because without him, I would not be anywhere. I'm really looking forward to what 2024 is going to hold. Like, we're probably going to reach 100,000 subscribers in that year, and I want to make a whole bunch of content talking about my life and sharing it with you guys. And yeah, it's just gonna be awesome. Like, I'm feeling really pumped and really excited for what's next. So be sure to subscribe so that you can find out what's next, because I plan on sharing a lot on this channel about my life. And if you want to learn more about what 2022 was like for me, click this video. In the meantime, I hope that you also have a wonderful 2024, and I will see you later. Goodbye.